In the heart of ancient Athens, a city renowned for its vibrant intellectual discourse and philosophical debates, there lived a man named Callias. Callias was not a philosopher by trade, nor was he a scholar, but he was a man of considerable wealth. He was known far and wide for his opulent lifestyle, extravagant banquets, and a mansion that could rival the grandeur of the gods themselves. Callias was a man of many talents, and his wealth had afforded him the privilege of indulging in every luxury life had to offer. His decadent feasts were the talk of the town, where the finest wines flowed like rivers, and the most exotic dishes graced the tables. Yet, despite his wealth and seemingly perfect life, Callias was plagued by a relentless tormentor: envy. Envy is a powerful and insidious emotion, one that can consume the soul, irrespective of one's social or economic status. It festers like a hidden ulcer, eating away at the core of a person's being. Callias, for all his riches, was not immune to its corrosive effects. One sunny day in Athens, as Socrates strolled through the bustling marketplace, he happened to overhear a conversation among a group of Callias's guests who had just left one of his extravagant parties. "It's incredible," one man said, his eyes filled with wonder. "The opulence of Callias's mansion, the feasts he hosts, the treasures he possesses, it's as if he's been blessed by the gods themselves." Another guest nodded in agreement. "Yes, and his beautiful wife and children. He truly has everything a man could ever desire." Socrates, ever the inquisitive philosopher, couldn't help but engage in the discussion. He interjected, "But does he truly have everything he desires? Is his wealth and opulence enough to fill the void within his soul?" The guests exchanged puzzled glances. "What do you mean, Socrates?" one of them asked. Socrates, a man known for his penetrating questions, replied with a gentle smile, "Envy is the ulcer of the soul, my friends. It eats away at one's inner peace, leaving behind a festering wound that can never be healed by material wealth alone." The words of Socrates lingered in the minds of Callias's guests, and soon, they found themselves questioning the very essence of their friend's happiness. They began to wonder if Callias's extravagant lifestyle was merely a façade to mask the emptiness that lay within. Word of Socrates' comment reached Callias, and it gnawed at him like a persistent itch. He couldn't understand why a man of such wisdom would say such a thing about him. After all, he had everything he could ever desire, or so he thought. Determined to prove Socrates wrong and to ease the growing discontent within himself, Callias devised a plan. He would invite Socrates to his mansion for a grand banquet, the likes of which had never been seen before. He would spare no expense, ensuring that the feast would be the most lavish one yet. The preparations for the grand banquet began in earnest. Callias spared no expense in securing the finest ingredients and the rarest wines. His mansion, already a symbol of opulence, was adorned with even more extravagant decorations. The invitations were sent out to the most distinguished guests in Athens, including scholars, politicians, and artists. It was to be a feast to end all feasts, a testament to Callias's wealth and stature. As the day of the grand banquet approached, Callias's mansion buzzed with activity. Servants scurried about, attending to the finest details. Decorations were meticulously arranged, and the tables were set with the most exquisite tableware. The scent of sumptuous dishes wafted through the air, tantalizing the senses of all who passed by. The evening of the grand banquet finally arrived, and the city of Athens was abuzz with excitement. Guests arrived in their finest attire, eager to partake in the extravagant feast and witness the splendor of Callias's mansion. The air was filled with anticipation, and whispers of the opulence that awaited inside. As Socrates entered Callias's opulent abode, he couldn't help but marvel at the grandeur that surrounded him. The mansion was a testament to wealth and extravagance, with gilded pillars, intricately woven tapestries, and marble statues adorning every corner. The banquet hall itself was a masterpiece of architecture, with a vaulted ceiling that seemed to touch the heavens. Socrates, however, remained unimpressed by the excess on display. He had always been a man of simple tastes, valuing wisdom and virtue above all else. He politely took his seat at the head of the long banquet table, surrounded by Callias and his guests, who were eager to regale him with tales of their host's wealth and blessings. Throughout the evening, Callias tried to demonstrate the depth of his happiness through stories of his wealth and possessions. He spoke of his vast estates, his prized collection of rare artifacts, and the admiration he received from his peers. Yet, with every word, Socrates listened attentively, his calm demeanor unwavering. As the night wore on and the feast reached its zenith, Callias could no longer contain his frustration. He had expected Socrates to be awed by his grandeur, to shower him with praise and admiration. But Socrates remained stoic, seemingly unfazed by the opulence that surrounded him. Finally, unable to contain himself any longer, Callias turned to Socrates and said, "Socrates, you have heard of my wealth and seen the splendor of my mansion." Socrates, his piercing gaze fixed on Callias, replied with his characteristic wisdom, "Callias, I have listened to your stories and marveled at the splendor of your possessions. But tell me, do you ever find yourself feeling envious of anyone else?" Envious? How could he, the envy of so many, ever feel such a base emotion? He hesitated for a moment before finally admitting, "Well, there is one person I envy, the great philosopher Socrates. He possesses wisdom beyond measure, and his contentment with a simple life is a source of envy for me. Envy, my friend, is the ulcer of the soul. Your wealth may be the envy of others, but your envy of wisdom and simplicity is the true ulcer that ails your soul." Callias was struck by the truth of Socrates' words. He realized that his relentless pursuit of material wealth and opulence had blinded him to the simple joys of life, the joys that Socrates and others like him seemed to embrace effortlessly. For the first time in his life, Callias felt a deep sense of self-reflection and humility. Over time, Callias began to change his ways. The extravagant banquets became less frequent, and in their place, he hosted gatherings that encouraged thoughtful discussions and the exchange of ideas. His newfound contentment and inner peace radiated from him, drawing others towards his gatherings of wisdom and reflection. In the end, Callias learned that true wealth was not measured by the quantity of gold and jewels one possessed but by the richness of one's character and the depth of one's wisdom.
Regret for wasted time is more wasted time. Time is an enigmatic entity, a currency that we all possess but often squander without a second thought. It slips through our fingers like sand, and before we know it, we find ourselves reflecting on the moments, hours, and even years that we've wasted. Regret for wasted time is a sentiment that has haunted humanity for centuries. And as we delve into this thought-provoking concept, we'll explore why it's crucial to recognize the true nature of this regret and how it can serve as a catalyst for positive change. Understanding regret for wasted time. Regret is a powerful emotion, one that can be both a bitter reminder of our past choices and a driving force for our future actions. When it comes to regret for wasted time, it's essential to acknowledge that this form of regret is unique. Unlike other regrets, such as regrets for specific actions or decisions, regret for wasted time revolves around the sheer passage of time itself. It's a lamentation for the hours, days, or even years that we've allowed to slip away without purpose, fulfillment, or meaning. Why do we experience regret for wasted time? 1. Awareness of mortality. One of the primary reasons we experience regret for wasted time is our awareness of mortality. We know that our time on this planet is finite, and as we age, we become acutely aware of the limited time we have left. This realization often leads to regrets about the moments we've lost and the opportunities we've missed. 2. Unrealized potential. We all possess unique talents, dreams, and aspirations. Regret for wasted time often stems from the feeling that we haven't fully realized our potential or pursued our passions. When we look back and see years marked by inertia, we can't help but feel a sense of loss. 3. Social comparisons. In our interconnected world, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others. When we see friends, colleagues, or acquaintances achieving their goals and living fulfilling lives, we may experience regret for not making similar progress. This social comparison can intensify our feelings of wasted time. The paradox of regret for wasted time. Ironically, regret for wasted time can become a source of further time wastage if not managed wisely. When we dwell too long on our past mistakes and missteps, we risk falling into a never-ending cycle of guilt and self-blame. This paradox of regret for wasted time is a significant obstacle to personal growth and happiness. Overcoming the paradox, turning regret into motivation. 1. Acceptance. The first step in overcoming the paradox of regret for wasted time is acceptance. We must accept that we can't change the past. The hours, days, and years that have passed are gone forever. Acceptance allows us to release the emotional burden of regret and focus on the present and future. 2. Self-reflection. Regret can be a valuable teacher if we approach it with self-reflection. Instead of dwelling on what we should have done differently, we can ask ourselves why we made those choices in the first place. What were the circumstances, beliefs, or fears that held us back? Self-reflection provides insights that can inform our future decisions. 3. Setting clear goals. Regret can be a powerful motivator when channeled into setting clear goals. By defining what we want to achieve and creating a plan to get there, we can transform regret into a driving force for positive change. Each day becomes an opportunity to make up for lost time by taking meaningful actions toward our goals. 4. Embracing the present. Regret often causes us to dwell on the past or worry about the future. To break free from this cycle, we must learn to embrace the present moment. Mindfulness practices, such as meditation and gratitude, can help us appreciate the here and now, making us more effective and content. Regret as a catalyst for growth. Regret for wasted time need not be a negative force in our lives. Instead, it can serve as a catalyst for personal growth and transformation. When we use regret as a motivator to take action and make the most of the time we have left, we turn what could have been more wasted time into a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. Personal development. Regret can inspire us to invest in personal development. Whether it's acquiring new skills, pursuing further education, or working on our emotional intelligence, every step forward is a step away from the regret of wasted time. Strengthening relationships. Regret often highlights the importance of nurturing meaningful relationships. It encourages us to spend time with loved ones, resolve conflicts, and express our feelings. These actions not only enrich our lives but also reduce the regret associated with neglecting our connections. Pursuing passion projects. Many people have dreams and passions that they've neglected due to various reasons. Regret can reignite these passions and motivate us to pursue creative projects, hobbies, or entrepreneurial ventures that we've always longed for. Giving back. A powerful way to overcome regret for wasted time is by giving back to others. Volunteering, mentoring, or contributing to causes we care about can provide a sense of purpose and fulfillment that counteracts the feeling of time slipping away. Regret for wasted time is a universal human experience, but it's how we respond to this regret that defines our lives. It can be a relentless burden, a source of frustration, or a powerful catalyst for growth and change. By accepting the past, engaging in self-reflection, setting clear goals, and embracing the present, we can transform regret into a force that propels us toward a future filled with purpose and fulfillment. Remember, the only true waste of time is allowing regret to paralyze us, preventing us from making the most of the time we still have. Embrace the opportunity to live a life free from the shackles of wasted time, and you'll find that the regrets of yesterday can become the victories of tomorrow.
Regret-fought wasted time is more wasted time. Once upon a time, in a small, picturesque village nestled between rolling hills and beside a serene river, there lived a wise old man known as the timekeeper. He was renowned throughout the land for his uncanny ability to understand the value of time and the importance of every moment. His wisdom was sought by kings and commoners alike, and his words were known to change lives. The timekeeper's dwelling was a quaint cottage adorned with a myriad of clocks, each telling a different story of time's passage. There were grandfather clocks, pendulum clocks, sundials, and hourglasses of all sizes, shapes, and ages. These timepieces were not mere decorations but companions in the timekeeper's lifelong pursuit of understanding the essence of time. One fine morning, a young and curious traveler named Alara arrived in the village. She had heard tales of the timekeeper's wisdom and hoped to learn from him. Alara had a passion for adventure and a heart full of dreams, but she also carried a burden, the weight of time poorly spent. Her arrival marked the beginning of a story that would change both her life and the timekeeper's forever. Alara approached the timekeeper's cottage, where he was busy tinkering with a pocket watch. He looked up, his eyes filled with a knowing twinkle, and welcomed her with a warm smile. "Welcome, young traveler," he said. "I am the timekeeper. How may I assist you today?" Alara explained her quest to understand the true meaning of time and to make amends for the moments she had wasted. She spoke of her dreams and aspirations, her regrets and lost opportunities. The timekeeper listened intently, nodding in empathy. "My dear Alara," he began, "time is the most precious gift we have. It flows like a river, and once a moment passes, it can never be recaptured. Regret for wasted time is indeed more wasted time, for it robs you of the present moment. To truly understand the value of time, you must embark on a journey with me." With that, the timekeeper extended an invitation to Alara, proposing that she become his apprentice. Alara eagerly accepted, and so began her transformative journey under the tutelage of the timekeeper. Each day was a lesson, each clock a teacher. Alara learned to appreciate the beauty of the present moment, to savor the tick-tock of life's heartbeat, and to make every second count. She spent hours meditating by the river, listening to its gentle flow, and realizing that, just like time, life moved forward. As the months turned into years, Alara's understanding of time deepened. She learned that time was not an enemy to be feared but a companion to be embraced. With the timekeeper's guidance, she found her purpose in life, to inspire others to value their time and make the most of it. One fateful day, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, Alara and the timekeeper sat by the river, reflecting on their journey together. Alara turned to her mentor and said, "I have learned so much, timekeeper, and I am forever grateful. But I can't help but wonder if there is more I should do with the time I have." The timekeeper smiled, his eyes gleaming with wisdom. "Ah, Alara, you have come far in your journey. You have learned that regret for wasted time is indeed more wasted time. But there is one final lesson I must share with you." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, exquisite hourglass. It was unlike any Alara had seen before, with grains of sand that sparkled like stars. The timekeeper handed it to her and said, "This hourglass holds the sands of time, and each grain represents a moment in your life. But there is a secret to it. Watch closely." As Alara turned the hourglass, she noticed something extraordinary. The grains of sand didn't just fall randomly, they formed intricate patterns and shapes, like a masterpiece in motion. "The sands of time, Alara," the timekeeper explained, "are not only a measure of your past but also a canvas for your future. Every moment is a chance to create something beautiful, to mold your destiny. Regret for wasted time can be transformed into a driving force to make the most of the moments that follow." Alara gazed at the mesmerizing dance of the grains of sand, her heart filled with awe and understanding. She realized that the key to truly valuing time was not just in cherishing the present but in using it to shape the future. In the years that followed, Alara became a renowned storyteller and teacher herself. She traveled the world, sharing the lessons she had learned from the timekeeper with people from all walks of life. Her words resonated with those burdened by regrets and inspired them to make every moment count. And as for the timekeeper, his days became quieter, filled with contentment. He had passed on his wisdom to a new generation, knowing that his legacy would live on through Alara and those she touched. He watched the river flow, the clocks tick, and the sun rise and set, grateful for the time he had been given. In the end, the timekeeper's greatest lesson was not just about understanding the value of time but also about the power of transformation. Regret for wasted time could be transformed into purpose, and each moment held the potential to be a masterpiece in the grand tapestry of life. And so, the tale of the timekeeper's regret became a story of redemption, hope, and the enduring wisdom that time, when cherished and used wisely, could be a source of endless possibility. For in the end, it was not the quantity of time that mattered but the quality of moments lived to the fullest.